that they have to really listen in between the lines what you're saying, because there's actually a very important message that you're saying without actually saying it.
I always say blatant what I say. I never ever have a code or it's either you hear it or you choose to wanna acknowledge it or you don't. Those are the trollers, bro. And should I ever say it was in between the lines, bro?
About what went down.
Kathy White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other.
Fraternity of Blue Ivy. She looks more and more like Kathy to me every day. While they try to do AI pictures to make her look more like Beyonce, taking her face up with all that light makeup to take away the dark, natural brown ramen tone that Kathy's skin had. Beautiful skin, long arms, shoulders.
Because from what I was told, Beyonce couldn't even have kids, allegedly.
She can't have kids. Her uterus is trash. But she had to come up with those 3 babies because that's what's in the marriage contract in order for her to get the extra $1 million for each kid.
Now this is where the story instantly goes from messy internet rumor to one of the darkest celebrity conspiracies people still argue about years later. Because every time Orlando Brown brings up names like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Blue Ivy, or Kathy White, the internet doesn't just react. It starts reopening an entire file of old claims, old interviews, screenshots, blog posts, and stories that never really disappeared. And the reason this particular rumor keeps coming back is because Kathy White was not just a random name thrown into celebrity gossip. Public records and obituary listings identify Kathy Michelle White as a real woman who passed away in Harlem, New York, in September 2011 at only 29 years old. She was known by people close to her as Lil Kathy, Coriana Hun, and Corey. But online, her name became attached to something much bigger. Over the years, blogs, commentators, and conspiracy circles have claimed she was allegedly connected to Jay-Z, and some even pushed the far more explosive theory that she was tied to private family rumors involving Blue Ivy. None of those claims have been proven. No official public record confirms those theories. But that has not stopped the story from spreading, and that's the disturbing part. The facts are limited, but the speculation is massive. So when Orlando repeats these claims, he is not creating a brand new rumor. He is stepping into a story that the internet has been building, twisting, and fighting over for more than a decade.
Considering talking to me and telling me her story about her affair with Jay-Z. So a few days go by and I'm following up with her, I'm calling her, and I can't get a hold of her. And I believe that this went on for a few days. And it was just really weird because she always answered her work phone. I thought it was really strange that she wasn't answering her phone. She was MIA. I didn't know what the deal was. So I ended up reaching out to one of her colleagues. And when I finally got hold of one of her colleagues, they told me that she's dead. And I said...
And that clip is exactly why the Kathy White story became so explosive online. Because the claim is not simply that Kathy knew powerful people. The claim is that she was allegedly about to talk. That is what made people freeze. According to the version repeated by Liz Crokin and later amplified across social media, Kathy was supposedly considering sharing her side of a private story involving Jay-Z, and then before that conversation could happen, she was gone. Now, let's be very clear. That is an allegation, not an established fact. There is no public court finding, proving foul play. There is no verified official record proving that Jay-Z, Beyonce, or anyone close to them had anything to do with Kathy White's death. What exists is a mix of obituary records, old entertainment, gossip, social media allegations, and years of internet speculation. But in celebrity, conspiracy culture timing becomes everything. People look at the date, they look at the alleged interview, they look at the names involved, and then they ask one question. Why did this story vanish from mainstream conversation while it kept growing underground? That is why Liz Crokin's comments mattered to online audiences. She positioned herself as someone who had been close to the story before it disappeared from public view. And once she started making those accusations again, people who had never even heard Kathy White's name began searching old posts, old articles, and old rumors, trying to figure out whether this was just another internet myth or whether there was something deeper hiding behind it.
thinking about my head?
To understand why this rumor has lasted so long, you have to separate two things: what is documented and what the internet built on top of it. What is documented is that Kathy Michelle White was a real person, a young woman with a real life, real friends, and a real obituary. She passed away in New York in 2011. Some later entertainment coverage described her as a publicist model and figure who had been pulled into rumors about Jay-Z. Other reports and blogs claim she died after a reported brain aneurysm. But from there, the story turns into something much harder to verify. The internet version claims Kathy was allegedly connected to Jay-Z romantically. Then the story grows even bigger, with people claiming she may have been pregnant, that she may have known something damaging, and that her death came at a suspicious time. But again, those are claims. They are not proven facts. And this is exactly why the story works so well in a drama video. It has all the ingredients people react to: a powerful celebrity couple, a young woman who died unexpectedly, rumors of an alleged affair, and a child whose name keeps getting dragged into the conversation. The problem is, the more emotional the rumor becomes, the more people forget where the evidence actually stops. That is also why Kathy White's name keeps coming back whenever Jay-Z and Beyonce face public controversy. Every few years, something reignites the discussion: a viral clip, a commentator, a lawsuit, a lyric theory, or a new celebrity interview. And suddenly the same old question comes back. Was this just a tragic death surrounded by gossip, or is the internet refusing to let go because people believe there was more to the story? No one has publicly proven the darker theories. But the mystery surrounding Kathy White has become powerful because it sits in that dangerous space between real tragedy and viral speculation.
Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imaginary...
Now, this is where Claudia Jordan becomes important to the entire story. Because once Jaguar Wright publicly brought Claudia's name into the Kathy White conversation, the rumor was no longer just about Jay-Z, Beyonce, or Orlando Brown. It became about who was around Kathy, who knew her personally, and who was willing to speak when the internet kept connecting her name to one of the most powerful families in entertainment. Claudia's response, as shown in the online discussion around this story, was a strong denial. Her position was basically that Kathy was not pregnant around her, that she never saw proof of the Jay-Z rumor, and that people had been attaching her name to a story she did not want to be part of. And that denial is important because it gives the audience another side. It reminds viewers that not everyone close to a viral rumor agrees with the internet version. But the problem is, denial does not always kill a conspiracy. Sometimes it makes people dig harder. And that is exactly what happened here. Instead of the conversation ending, people started connecting Kathy White to another old Beyonce controversy: the 2011 pregnancy rumors. Those rumors started after Beyonce appeared on an Australian television interview, and some viewers claimed her baby bump looked strange when she sat down. The clip went viral, and speculation exploded. Beyonce's publicist shut the rumors down at the time, calling the prosthetic belly claims false. The Australian host also rejected the fake pregnancy rumors, saying Beyonce was truly pregnant. But online, once a visual clip becomes part of a conspiracy, it is almost impossible to erase. People kept replaying the footage, pausing it, zooming in, making comparisons, and tying it back to theories about surrogacy. Then Blue Ivy's birth at Lenox Hill Hospital added even more fuel. Reports came out about privacy arrangements, security, and complaints from some families at the hospital. Health officials later said they found no violations, and Lenox Hill denied that the family security plan blocked families from the neonatal intensive care unit. Still, the internet remembered the rumor more than the correction. And that is the real pattern in this story. A claim appears, a denial follows, a report disputes it, but years later, the most dramatic version is the one that survives. That is why Kathy White, Claudia Jordan, Beyonce's pregnancy footage, and Blue Ivy hospital rumors all get pulled into the same online conversation, even when the actual evidence does not prove the conspiracy. Then, Orlando Brown enters the picture and adds another layer. When he says powerful people have allowed him to live, people who already believe these theories hear that as confirmation. People who do not believe him hear it as another wild statement from someone known for saying shocking things. And that is why this whole story remains so explosive. It is not built on one confirmed revelation. It is built on a chain reaction. Old footage, old rumors, Celebrity silence, public denials, and commentators who keep telling audiences there is something they are not being shown.
Tired of me. And so is Beyonce. They have allowed me to live, man.
And once Orlando says something like that, the conversation immediately shifts. Because now it is not just about Kathy White anymore. It becomes about a much bigger idea that has haunted hip-hop for years. The belief that certain artists, executives, and powerful industry figures know secrets the public will never fully see. That is how Pimp C gets pulled into this story. Pimp C, born Chad Butler, was one half of UGK, one of the most respected duos in Southern rap history. Officially, he died in December 2007 after being found in a hotel room in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles County coroner ruled the death accidental, with reports pointing to promethazine and codeine in his system combined with sleep apnea. That is the official record. But hip-hop fans know that official records do not always stop street theories. After Pimp C died, rumors started spreading that there was more to the story. Some fans claimed he knew too much. Others pointed to his outspoken personality and his complicated place in the industry. And because Pimp C had a history with Jay-Z through Big Pimp and conspiracy circles, started connecting dots that were never officially connected. The real history between Jay-Z and UGK is already dramatic without any conspiracy. Pimp C reportedly did not even like the Big Pimpin' beat at first, resisted the record, gave only a short verse, and even refused to travel for part of the video shoot. That became hip-hop legend. But online legend often turns into suspicion. So when Orlando Brown talks about being allowed to live, people take that energy and connect it to every old industry mystery they already believe in.
Yo, we still trying to find out who was in this Pimp C tape.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it. But if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Whoever it was, they would have to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. Okay. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose, you know, as a Montana goose. You know what I mean? So, you know, they also know who was having money at the time. So it's not really hard to figure.
Now, the alleged Pimp C tape rumor is one of those stories that sits in the shadows of hip-hop gossip. People have talked about it for years. Different names get thrown around. Different versions get repeated. But the most important thing is this. No verified public evidence has confirmed that this tape exists, and no official investigation has linked any alleged tape to Pimp C's death. But the reason the rumor keeps surviving is because it fits the image people already had of Pimp C. He was outspoken. He was difficult to control. He was not the type of artist people imagine being easily managed by a label, a celebrity circle, or a superstar collaborator. Even the documented Big Pimpin' stories show that Pimp C moved on his own terms. He did not want to do the beat at first. He did not want to fly for the video. He gave the verse he wanted to give. He showed up how he wanted to show up. So when people hear a story claiming Pimp C had footage that could embarrass powerful people, they believe it because it sounds like something that could exist in that world even if proof has never been shown. That is the danger of industry rumors. A believable personality can make an unproven story feel real. And once fans already distrust the official version of a celebrity death, every strange quote, every old interview, and every vague claim becomes another puzzle piece. But the official conclusion remains unchanged. Pimp C's death was ruled accidental. The conspiracy theories may keep growing, but they have not replaced the public record.
Somebody who was using drugs heavily as he was, because he was pretty prolific at a certain point, right?
Well, I didn't see that side. He never did lean around me. Listen, Chad only did, a cup of red wine like twice.
Really?
Yeah, so that whole situation with him, you know, with them planting and like all that stuff was planted, bro. Like that's not even his stilo. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's levels to this.
He raps about lean a lot, though.
Yeah, he raps about lean, but it's, you know, it's levels to this. I'm not gonna have it on me. And
do you think that they planted it? Who, the cops or his management team?
Well, Hey man, you know I can't go into, out of respect for the family and out of respect for my sister Shannara and all of that, man. I'm just gonna keep.
And that final clip shows exactly why Orlando Brown keeps going viral. Because he does not just repeat rumors, he says them with the confidence of somebody who wants people to believe he has seen things from the inside. He talks in fragments. He stops himself. He hints at names. He says he cannot go too deep out of respect for family. And to an audience already suspicious of the music industry, that kind of delivery feels like a warning. But this is where the viewer has to decide what they believe. On one side, you have official reports. Kathy White passed away in 2011. Pimp C's death was ruled accidental. Beyonce's fake pregnancy rumors were denied, and hospital complaints around Blue Ivy's birth were not found to be violations by health officials. On the other side, you have years of online theories, old clips, celebrity commentators, and people who believe the entertainment industry hides the truth behind money, power, and silence. That is why this story refuses to die. It is not because every claim has been proven. It is because every few years, someone like Orlando Brown, Jaguar Wright, or another industry voice brings the names back up, and suddenly the internet starts asking the same questions again. Was Kathy White just a tragic story turned into celebrity mythology? Were the Blue Ivy rumors always just cruel internet speculation? Or are people still digging because they believe the official story never answered everything? That is the conversation Orlando Brown has reopened. And whether people believe him or not, one thing is clear. When these names come up, the internet does not scroll past, it starts investigating all over again.